show me how it's done. I hope you're all excited today to play with the Party Puffins stamp set. We used this set probably about a month ago now, and I told you I was not done with it yet. And as you can see, I've been having a lot of fun with this adorable little set. So I'm going to show you these cards up close here, but I'll have photos of them posted later. What I wanted to highlight for you today is the versatility of some of our designer series paper packs. So by using the same layout on my card, all I need to do is simply change the background cardstock color, the ink, and pick any of the patterns from one of our designer series paper packs, and I can have a fully assorted group of cards without having to do any extra work. So the package that I've chosen to work with today is our Brights assortment. I love how vibrant these colors are and how perfect they are just to bring joy to something such as a birthday celebration. So the two samples that I've shown you so far have used Bermuda Bay and Melon Mambo. I'm going to show you the Granny Apple Green today in my sample, but throughout the day, I'm also going to be working my way through this pile and restockpiling my own stash of birthday cards. So my hope is that I'll have a huge assortment of cards by the end of the day to post a picture of for you. But this guy, just in case you're wondering, that package of designer paper can be found in our annual catalog, and it's really hidden. So on page 134, you'll see that there's an assortment of the same pattern, but you don't necessarily see the colors that I'm showing you. You actually have to read in the bottom part of this assortment section to order the brights, neutrals, regals, or subtles assortments of the papers. So again, we're using the brights color, but any of the assortments would be really fun for you to use, or maybe the in color ones as well. But if you're trying to find them, they're on page 134 in the catalog, or I can certainly help you find them as well. The Party Puffins stamp set is a new addition to that big catalog that I just showed you, and it will be available until next spring. So you can grab it and have lots of fun playing with it. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, I'm going to just move this to the side so you can see them, but keep in mind the colors that I'm showing you today will be different. You just need to modify them as you'd like. So to start with, you'll grab a card base. This one is Granny Apple Green, and I have cut it at 5.5 by 8.5. And we've put a score mark in the middle here at 4 1/4. So with my bone folder, I'm going to just fold that over and do some nice crisp lines. I am somebody who really likes to get as much on my card base as I can before I start working on the card, just so that I don't have pieces floating around. So we're going to do some of that. While you're cutting, you're going to need 2 pieces of basic white and 2 of basic black. So the basic black are going to be our frames for both the outside of the card and the inside of the card. They are both cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then your 2 pieces of white are for the front of the card and the inside to write on. They're cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so for the inside of my card, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of these pieces together, just using some sort of tape or adhesive. So if you've got our seal on hand, that is perfect. You can also use double-sided tape or some glue. And we're just going to get that onto the inside of our card so that you have something to write on. Okay. Go. Perfect. All right, and before I go any further, I'm just going to take a second to make sure I am live. Sorry. Last week I had some nice Minnie Mouse. There we go. Perfect. I had some Minnie Mouse voices going on, so I really appreciate those of you who told me. But it seems like we have people watching, so hello, ladies. Welcome. All right, so that is my nice frame on the inside of my card. And then of course I need something to write on. So white is just the perfect medium for that. And you'll notice the sample I showed you does have a little penguin stamped in the corner. So we will add that later when we're working on our penguins with our inks, okay? While you're at it, you can also add the shadow feature to the front of your card. So this black piece. I like to pop things like this up on dimensionals though. So that is totally up to you whether you want to leave it flat or whether you want some dimension to it. But I remember now I ran out of dimensionals. So let me just grab another set here. There we go. So I wanted to pop this shadow guy up just on the front of the card. Give a little life to it. All right, so there we go. So the front of my card now is done as much as I can at the moment. I don't like stamping on my card when it's assembled because if I've made a mistake, it's really great to be able to turn things over and try the other side. So we're going to take this and set it aside for the moment and concentrate on the one piece of white that you have left. So once again, this one was 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and you'll want to be working with it on the horizontal. So the longest side is facing down towards you. So now we're going to need a couple things here. So a piece of that Bright's cardstock is what you'll need to start with. So of course, from this assortment, you've got front and back patterns to choose from, and you can use whatever ones you'd like. I have cut this at 1.5 inches wide by 5 inches long. And I'm going to attach it right now to the front of my card, right along the bottom. Okay. There we go. And then put this onto the bottom part of your card. Now I'm realizing right now, I think I dropped my strip of gold. Do you see this little tiny strip? It's gold foil. I think I dropped it coming down the stairs. I'm so excited when I have one craft room. I don't have to go back and forth. So I'm not going to waste your time and go get it. But if you want to add it to the card, you'll cut a little strip that's 1/4 of an inch thick by 5 inches long. And that can go right on the bottom of this space. So it can either go completely over the green or half on the green, half on the white, whatever you prefer. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of my stamping because I can still give myself a nice little buffer. So what I'm going to do is take my Smoky Slate ink, that's a nice gray ink, and my little cute penguin here. And we're going to make a line of penguins just standing, waiting for some fun to start. So what I like about having this solid line here is I have a really good idea of how to keep my penguins straight instead of them, one being down here, one being up here. Just use this edge as a guide for you to actually put your penguins down. So what I liked to do was to put one penguin kind of where I wanted this focus guy to be. So I'm happy with him there. And then I'll build my other penguins off of him. So one of them is going to end up coming off the right-hand side here, and that's okay. And then beside him, pardon my head if I'm in your way. Nope, not totally. There we go. Just keep going along. You should be able to fit about 5. The ones on the ends will come off a little bit. And these were all done in the Smoky Slate. Okay, so can close that up. And then along the top of my little sentiment here, I thought it would be fun to put the the statement from all of us, because we're saying happy birthday, and then you've got a line of little penguins. So you're going to say from all of us. But of course you could do your happy birthday along the top. You could say make a wish. Totally up to you. You could make like a little row of fish presents. That is also up to you. So I'm doing from all of us. Once again, they don't fit perfectly along the front or along the top. So I purposely am going to start my first one off the edge so that it doesn't end up looking unbalanced later. I'm purposely putting one off the edge, and then from there we're going to put a couple full statements, and the last one will fall off the other side. Technically, I think you just have enough room to put 3 of these in a row, but it really looks kind of awkward. So I like the look of them just falling off the sides and just kind of continuing on as a banner, if that makes sense. Okay, so we'll put that aside. And while we're working on the front of this card here, and we've got our green out, let's make a little sign. So I have cut myself a piece of basic white. This is 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 inches long. Before I stamp on it, I'm going to grab my banner pick-a-punch and just cut off one of the ends. So if you poke your paper till it hits the edge, and if you want to make sure, just flip it over, make sure it's bumped up against the end there. Then you're going to quickly cut that and have a cute little banner. Then with the happy birthday sentiment, stamp that right on there. Like so. Okay, so you can close this green ink up now, and you've got a little bit more work to do here, okay? So just hold your thoughts. These 2 little penguins, you're going to grab Memento ink and a white piece of paper, just any scrap that you have left over, and you'll stamp yourself 2 little penguins. So one with the penguin standing here and the other with the party hat. You do have to fussy cut them. So I did that already. I didn't want to waste your time having you watch me cut them out. But I went ahead and cut them out. I colored their feet with the dark pumpkin pie blend. I added a little end of the beak embellishment with the dark poppy parade. And now I'm going to color his hat with the coordinating granny apple green blends. So if you'll notice on these 2 birds, their hats are the Bermuda Bay and the Melon Mambo. We're going to make his granny apple green. So I've used the light granny apple green for these little dots and the cotton ball on the top. And the dark I do second in case I got out of the lines anywhere. This will go over top of it and cover that mistake up. Okay, but of course, these are your party hats, so you do whatever you want with them. I just thought it was fun to coordinate the colors. Okay, so here's my 2 little penguins. The little one here, I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back. And I'm going to actually put him right over top of this one gray penguin. So you could choose any of these penguins that you wanted them to go over, but the reason he is on the right side is because the party hat guy, he faces towards the right, and so it would look kind of awkward if he was over here on the left. So I've chose this guy to be my stand-up one, and you can see already it just makes a huge difference to your card. It makes him kind of a fun little feature. So again, I did forget my gold strip, so I'm not going to attach these 2 pieces at the moment, but I will put the dimensionals on and show you. So dimensionals on the back of that penguin and on the back of my little banner. And if I was to attach them, you just make sure you're kind of happy with where they're sitting. If perhaps you wanted to move this penguin over a little bit, that's okay, because this part will still be on the card. or you can always take your snips if you wanted and just trim off some of that extra. But it actually looks kind of fun if his banner is coming off the card a little bit too. So don't stress about that, okay? So here would be my little penguin set, and we'll just slip this on top here. So you can actually see it kind of looks just fine without the gold. It's it blends in quite nicely still, and it gives you a lot of fun features. I just thought the gold made it a little bit more special. So I'm going to wait to attach this until I have that on hand. But there's my little set of 3 so far, and hopefully, as I promised, I'll have more to show you later. Ooh, that's kind of fun. You could also twist this and have kind of a funky look if you didn't want this to be so straight. Okay, totally up to you how you do this. And then, as I mentioned, you've got this little penguin left over. You could always stamp him on the inside of your card right there. He could be colored, he doesn't have to be, but if you want to color him, go right ahead. So just the little beak and his feet. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. I know we all need birthday cards, and sometimes it's just easy when we can mass produce a bunch of them, but then nobody's really getting the same card if you're doing all different colors. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing your creations if you have this set and you decide to play with it. So talk to you later, and I will see you next week. Bye.